we had to go a bit back to the drawing board to have a bit of a rethink. Decided why a turbo, obviously what I said I wanted to have it down the side. We sort of got the collector on, sort of put it in many different positions, and we just realised we couldn't quite get exactly how we wanted to sit and after everything else to still work. So what we've decided to do is, some may call it a bit extreme, maybe a bit nutty, but if needs must, needs must. So I'll flip around, makes life easier. There we go. So the turbo is going to be, I think, going to sit in this sort of position, so the collector obviously can come down, sort of wrap around, trying to keep the headers as equal length as possible. And we're just going to cut a nice big hole out of the passenger bulkhead and replace them inside, basically make a new exhaust tunnel to go in, down and round. I'm just about to strip the start stripping the dash out now, so we're checking the feasibility, make sure there's nothing else that's going to be in the way. We're having no heaters, nothing like that is going to be sat in this thing, because it's just made for going fast. So, and if I need anything in the future, I'm just going to put one of them little 12 volt heater elements. I know they're supposed to be crap, but as long as it can probably defrost the screen is the only thing that we're ever worried about. You can see from the inside, not very nice. I've got my little torch up there, illuminating the place. So I'm just going to rip most of this dash out. I think the whole thing does need to come out, and there is, as I mentioned previously, there's mould growing. The loom, don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I need loads of bits I need to do. I don't know whether I'm just going to run the loom we had in the cart just to get it running, because that's the easiest option before I have to look at what I do need to splice. But I'm going to got the impact of the T20 out and start ripping it out. It's 20 to 11, we're just about finished for the night. We've tidied everything up inside of the garage. It's looking, well, I think we made a bit of progress. We started to, we took all the bits out for the looms. We'll try and put it through, but it's not going to go through there. So tomorrow in the daylight we'll sort that out, and I'm probably going to just cut a big hole around here, like the edge of that, peel it across, so then we can shut the loom back through. Because at some point it's all could come off, and I want like a mil-spec style connector anyway for all the wiring. But we'll sort this out tomorrow. But everything's cleared out. I took the Uber and cleared all this gap out. Don't actually know what's going to sit up here, because I don't really need the ECU to be up there. This may literally just be like an empty void. Maybe a washer bottle when it eventually becomes road legal. But if we go round inside the car, we have the dash out. Just trying to measure, obviously half a bit of the loom is pulled back through, but just have to weigh up exactly how we want to play it. I need to download the schematics for the wire. I think I've actually got them saved somewhere, but look back through them and see exactly what we need and what we don't need. Obviously ripping everything else out that isn't required, and try and mate the pin that comes up and out that normally would go to the ECU. That is going to go, I need to repin it for the ME 7.5 connector for my Ignitron ECU, and then hopefully then it'll be literally like a plug and play style affair. Load of things in it that need, obviously the heater box, as I said, is gone. It's looking rather bare. We've still got to, the carpet's going to get ripped out. I'll do that probably tomorrow. And have a look, the loom I think that normally runs down this side here, we're probably going to run it either down this rail here, obviously because the exhaust is coming where my finger is, down and round, and we're going to move this shifter box, is going to come inside the car and go straight up through the bulkhead, purely the fact that obviously these cables are slightly not long enough, and if they're still not long enough, we'll bang a standard TT1 in. But we'll see more on that tomorrow, as it appears. But no, we're quite happy. Like I said, the old heater box, huge hefty weight, quite happy with how it's coming on. We started cracking on today. We got the subframe up, we got the manual power steering rack up, and we started to mock up how we thought everything's going to look. We started with a dog bone, and this is where our issues arose. So in the kit we're supposed to use the 1 litre or the 8 valve subframe with the dog bone that comes off it, and it's supposed to bolt straight up from a bottom motor end box to it. We found out that it didn't even come close, as in it wasn't anywhere near. So best as the guy I got the kit from, it says can use the GTI one and just drill a new hole in it. So took it all down, put the GTI subframe back up, measured it up. That was even further out. So we sort of went back to looking at it and sort of looked at the whole mount setup objectively, because it never looked quite too right for us. So anyway, if I looking at this, so I don't know if you can sort of see now, this is where even the engine, obviously no dog went on at all, you can see there's nothing connected, so it's holding straight down where it needs to be tilted back, and already the angle of where the hub sits to where the shaft is not even close. So if Sam's going to come down and grab the engine and sort of tilt it back to roughly where it should sit on the mounts, that is a good, what, 6 to 8 inches across, and where obviously that is a stupid angle, so that is pretty much no.
Kill shafts and putting 600 brake through them, it's not going to they're not going to last. And we've had shaft issues. They're not much fun.
No.
Yeah, we don't want a second car in the wall.
Well, yeah, especially with how fast this thing has got the potential of going. No, just yeah. So what we're looking to do now, we're going to rip back to the drawing board, because there's not physically nothing else we can do. And which kind of
how many weeks we got now? We're deciding that we're changing the engine mount?
We've got less than, what, 2 weeks. It's annoying, but it's one of these things where you've got to do it for safety point of view and reliability. I mean, so there's no point even getting the first launch, it just shatters itself. If it goes at that angle, I mean, that can guillotine itself. No, yeah, it just ain't worth it. We don't want to waste our time, everybody else's, that have to clean up at the track. So I think I'm going to put this kit up for sale. Maybe the kit could work with a stupid angle like that if you've got a KO3 or something like that. But what our application, I'm annoyed at myself that we didn't didn't know, that didn't work it out straight away that it wouldn't have done it. But ayo, you live and learn. It's just one of them things. So the plan is to solid mount everything in. We're going to pretty much move this whole setup back. We did think the kit was way too low, because even a decent sort of ride height, we were like three, nearly 4 inches off the floor, if that, which wasn't enough, because you have got a belly pan for when the...
Yeah, you've got to be 3 inches off the floor for your lowest point, so you don't break the beams, and the sump was about 3 inches with how we wanted it to ride, so it would have ended up being, we've actually raised it over 1 inch just to clear the beams, and that's a lot of hassle.
Yeah, no, so we're just going to make it properly. I say properly, we're going to remake, obviously, sort of use the profile for it, but up and further back. I do have another Focus Master to go on this. I don't believe it is that one. I think there's another one that I've got. But I'm just hoping that this setback doesn't cost us racing at GTI Fest. There is another event at the end of October. That I think it's a Run What You Brung event. So worst comes to worst, I mean, we've all potentially got to fall back on that. But racing is racing, and we'd rather do it right and do it safely. So there we go. Liam is just working back on the turbo now. Sorry, turbo manifold. Taking apart, we're deciding to put the wastegate coming out of the hot side. It's the logical place for it. We see a lot of people doing it. It makes sense. So, well, we're going to wing it. I mean, the turbo is a £100 Chinesium special, so it's no big loss if it don't really work. We can find hot sides for them all over the place, because people kill them and literally put them up for scrap. So, not too fussed about that. The wire and loom we have pulled out. As I said, I had to cut a couple of slits to grab it, so this is going to all be cut out, plated, or whatever anyway, so I ain't fussed. Gives us a bit more in the bay to work with now. The lines, at some point, we don't quite know where we're going to cut them at yet, because when the downpipe goes through, but we'll cross out. At the moment, they're not really impeding on us. Some of the brackets I do want to take out, obviously. Maybe leave the coolant bottle one in here. Depends on where it sits, and we may actually be able to get away with having the coolant bottle roughly over here at the front. But when it is all back together, we can see them there.